Okay, hello my friends. Today I bring to you a video that is long overdue. It's why I hate France. Now I'm sorry that the majority of the text is in Spanish. I will read the text translating it every single time we change slide, but hopefully you will enjoy my full explanation on why I hate France. Now let's jump straight to it. This needs no translation. Charlemagne. Now you'll know I love Charlemagne. As a matter of fact, my cell phone casing is image of Charlemagne. Something you should know about my cell phone casing as well is that it's inverted because the camera, like the casing must have like a hole so the camera can fit, and the original image would have cut out the German flag. So instead, I inverted the image so it would instead cut the French flag. Yeah, that's my cell phone casing right there. Now, why is that? Well, because the French fucking kidnapped the concept of Charlemagne. Let me explain. The French say that Charlemagne was French. No, sir. Technically, he was not French nor German, but if we were to decide on one of those, he would probably be German. Why? Because he was Frankish, and the Franks were a Germanic tribe that came from modern-day Germany. Not only that, there is a city in Germany that's called Frankfurt, and that city is named like that because it means the passing of the Franks. And additionally, like the capital of the Carolingian Empire was Aachen, which is modern-day Germany, and was the imperial capital of the Holy Roman Empire for its entire history. So, fuck you, France. No, Charlemagne is German, not French. So, first reason to hate them. Second, language. Yeah, the language. I'm gonna tell you a little story about how I realized how stupid French sounds. You see, I have a little Yorkshire with my girlfriend. The little rascal is called Otto. Otto von Dixmark. Because of Bismarck and Otto Dix. Both very nice German guys. Google them. One is Otto von Bismarck, the big German guy with the mustache, and Otto Dix is an artist. Now we call Otto good boy, right? As you call every single fucking dog in the world. But because he's so small, we started to speak to him as if he was a baby. And you speak to babies as if they were idiotic, no? Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Yeah, that good boy eventually transmuted into good boy. Suddenly, one day, I realized, holy shit, good boy is exactly how you would pronounce good boy if you were trying to read it with French rules of pronunciation. To speak French, you have to speak like a fucking idiot. That's it. By the way, if you are having a stroke and you try to speak, you're probably saying something in French, and that's not even ironic. If you're having a stroke and the only thing you can say is you're saying water in French. That's not ironic. Is French for water. That's correct. That's factually correct. If you're having a stroke and you can just you're speaking French. French is for idiots. French is for people having a fucking stroke. Jeez. Now, thieves of the Middle Ages. Yes, France is called sometimes the prostitute of Europe, and for good reason. Now, take a good look at this map. You can see a lot of countries around France, and some you would say, well, that's modern-day France, like Brittany. But Brittany is an independent nation. Not a country, mind you, but it's a nation separate from France. There's also the Burgundians that are not currently displayed on the map, but are also a different nation from France. Many people tend to say that the Middle Ages are perfectly summarized in France. Wrong. France is not the best option to explain the Middle Ages because, for example, they say, well, France is the best place to go if you want to see the chivalric customs of the Middle Ages. Wrong. That would be Brittany, which is not France. Don't get confused. Also, Burgundians were a lot better horsemen, like militarily, not necessarily as knights, but as simply put cavalry corps. The Burgundians were a lot better than the French. The political systems of the Middle Ages are perfectly encapsulated in the Holy Roman Empire, and the counter-Muslim movement is perfectly summarized in Spain. So virtually everyone that is around France does something better than France. It's just that France is the mediocre middle of the road, doing kind of everything but not doing anything really. So yeah, France, not the best way to explain the Middle Ages. You can literally go around and explain everything the Middle Ages had way better. If I was in the Middle Ages, if I moved there by virtue of a time travel, I would probably circle France around. I would even dare go to England just in the off chance that I get to Scotland. But yeah, I would circle around France because I would have a way better experience at any and everything than if I simply went to France. So yeah, mediocrity in the Middle Ages is one reason to hate France. Now, it's not a secret for anyone who knows me that Germany is my second favorite country, of course after Mexico. Even though I hate Mexico too, it's a love-hate relationship. But with Germany, it's just love, despite, the obvious hiccups in the 20th century. But if you ignore the Second World War, every other aspect of German history enthralls me. It completely enthralls me. It's amazing. It's such a nice country. It's such a strong country with very nice history. But well, I'm not here to cream all over Germany. I'm here to shit on France. And France and Germany, kind of a historic duo of enemies. What you're seeing on the screen right now is the surrender of Napoleon III to Otto von Bismarck in the Franco-Prussian War, which was called like the prelude or the essay before the First World War. Now we move to the House of Bourbon. Yes, these motherfuckers. For all of those who don't know about monarchy that much, because you've been living in America, democracy, which is not democracy, by the way. America knows nothing of democracy, and we'll be touching upon that. But the House of Bourbon was a royal house of French fucks who technically destroyed the Spanish Empire. Let me explain. The Spanish Empire was formed with the House of Habsburg, a German house. Who would have ever said? Who would have ever imagined that Germans did something better than the fucking French? The Habsburg instituted the viceroyalties, which were effectively independent kingdoms that simply reported back to the main kingdom or the head of the empire, being Spain. There was a saying in the Spanish Empire which was "obedezcase pero no se cumpla." Roughly translated, it is obey but do not comply. And it just meant that the Spanish king understood that some things could not be done as hard as he might want them to happen in the viceroyalties, right? So the Habsburg understood, it is a very big empire and we can't force people to do something just because we want, because we don't fully understand the limitations and the context of the peoples on our viceroyalties. So we're going to send viceroys that will hopefully administer our lands very carefully, and we will give them orders that they will be able to disobey if they deem worthy to disobey without penalty, right? So this created an ambient of trust and a lot of self-reliance throughout the empire. It was more like a mutual cooperation. And in the reign of the Habsburg, there was a lot of race mixing, shit tons of race mixing. Basically, everyone in modern day Latin America is race mixed because the Habsburg were like, yo, these fucking locals, damn, they be looking smoking hot. What the fuck? So they fucked a lot, and God bless for that. But then the Bourbons arrive and they're like, I don't like that. What if we create a caste system? And so they start to stratify every single possible race mixing there is in the book. And they give them funky names like Mono Negro, which literally means black monkey. Yes, you have the French to thank for that bullshit. That's one example, by the way. You should look it up. There's a lot of castes created by the Bourbon house. Yeah, I hate these guys. And, well, it all culminates in the invasion of Napoleon. Because Napoleon invades Spain, unlawfully, by the way, being the piece of shit that he was. And bringing Pepe Botella, or Joseph Bonaparte, into the Spanish crown, dethroning Ferdinand VII. And he fucks up real bad the Spanish Empire. So the colonies, because we were converted to colonies thanks to the idiocy of the Bourbon house, because we were viceroyalties, but the Bourbons decided, what if we copy the system of the English, despite these contexts are completely different? Yeah, we want a colony. We don't want a viceroyalty. So yeah, us being viceroyalties, being converted or denigrated to colony, yeah, we did not like that one bit. And well, the viceroyalties, now colonies, were like, okay, we're gonna give our support to Ferdinand VII so he can return to the throne, but we're gonna make him sign the Constitution of Cadiz so we may preserve our political rights. So they do. They support Ferdinand VII. As a matter of fact, here in Mexico, the supposed independency was begun with a shout, and the shout was "Long live Ferdinand VII." Someone please explain me how, if we were supposed to get independency from the Spaniards, we were saying "Long live the Spanish King." Yeah, that's one of the sinkholes that the political and historical narrative of my country has left completely empty, because of course they want to push a revolutionary narrative even though there is basically no material to do so. But that's another story. The thing is, we support Ferdinand VII. He comes back. We tell him, okay, we support you, but you have to sign the constitutions of Cadiz and everything's going to be all right again. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And we're like, okay, we were not asking, so if you don't sign, we are declaring independence. And he's like, you can do that. And it's like, you can't stop us. Like, you couldn't even stop the French from taking your throne. Fuck you. And so we become independent. But yeah, basically that's the story, how Mexico is technically the rightful heir of the Spanish Empire due to French stupidity. Yeah, the Bourbons are a piece of work. And I hope they all fucking die. Now, one of the other crimes they committed is that these fucking French fucks, whenever they came to Spain, they started to make all the styles, all the fashion French-like. But what you're looking at right now is the golden century Spaniard male attire. Now this is some kick-ass motherfucking attire, if you ask me. This clothing I would love to wear nowadays. This clothing kicks some serious fucking ass. I love it. And the French took it away from us. The fucking French took it away from us with their stupid pastel-colored suits, you know. Suits so feminine, it's even hard to call them suits and not fucking man dresses. Shit, those looked fucking ridiculous. Now, Napoleon, of course, he was my gateway drug into hating France. Napoleon, I heard in a myth that is probably fucking false, you know, most probably false. But it started me on the bandwagon of hating the French, nonetheless. That he destroyed the Sphinx's nose with a cannonball. I was especially enthralled by Egyptian history whenever I knew or got wind of this rumor, which again, I must say, I am 99% sure is false, but it's just historical gossip. But like, I don't need I don't need a reason to hate Napoleon, and even then there are plenty of reasons. Not only did he unlawfully invaded Spain, he is indirectly guilty for the modern banking system. Let me explain. So apparently, because Napoleon lost in Waterloo, some funky business happened in the economic system in England that made the modern banking system be what it is today. You know, look it up. I'm not gonna get into it because yeah, but let's say I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And if Napoleon was even decent enough to fucking win Waterloo, probably that would not have happened. But yeah, well, he could not be even decent enough to win that battle. The only battle I would have wanted him to win, he lost. Napoleon is a complete fucking failure. And also, the textbook description of a megalomaniac. Like, he literally crowned himself in front of the Pope. His mom was so incredibly disappointed in him that she didn't even attend to his coronation. He specifically asked a painter to include his mom in the painting, but his mom did not actually attend to his coronation, and how disappointed she was on him. Fuck Napoleon. And that leads me to Mort la Révolution. The fucking French Revolution is one of the bloodiest, most pointless, unnecessary, bloodthirsty, and overrated events in human history. I hate this period of history because it brought some serious shit like the Reign of Terror. Now, let me tell you, whenever a movement is telling you that his principles are love and peace, égalité, fraternité, et liberté, but they practically kill 1/3 of their population, cutting their heads, you know they're bullshitting you. You know they're fucking bullshit. Yeah, let's say I don't enjoy the French Revolution. And probably France did not enjoy the French Revolution either. The French Revolution was some serious shit. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. Just Google the amounts of death that the Reign of Terror brought, and tell me if that's what a rational society would have done. Let me know if that's what a society that was supposedly bringing peace, love, and equality would have done. And sadly, we are starting to see it happen again in our modern society, right? Because we are the sons of the French Revolution, and the same principles that drive them drive us right now. So yeah, the Reign of Terror has not ended, and it's just revivifying in later times. So yeah, another great reason to hate the French: democracy. Now you Americans must be like, what the fuck, man? Like, democracy is super cool. Like, no, it's not. First of all, because you fucking gringo are not living in a democracy, you're living in a republic. Let me explain the difference. Republics are basically a middle ground between democracy and dictatorship. And republics are not new. They were technically invented, if not implemented in their best way, by the Romans. The first form, the first shape in which we saw the republic was before the empire in Roman times, and it was due to them not having direct representation. The populace had not a saying in direct elections. You know, they would not elect who was consul or proconsul, or who was this or that government official. But they did have a saying in everything, indirectly, through some governmental figures. So the republic does not leave the populace completely alone and at the mercy of their overlords, but it doesn't ask the populace things they don't know, and they are not supposed to know either. Why in the fuck would the people know what's best for the country? They don't. They don't have to. So, democracy as conceptualized by the French has been one of the biggest errors of the modern times. Now, history has proven this time and time again. All democracy eventually degenerates into dictatorship. Every single time. I must say this right now. If you think we are any special, any different from humans in the past, that's sheer hubris. We are exactly the same species of humans that were killing mammoths 10,000 years ago. We are exactly the same fucking species. Nothing has changed. The way we work from then to now has marginally changed. So don't bring me some bullshit that if we're the same from 10,000 years ago, we are somehow different from someone 2,000 years ago. That's simply not gonna happen. If it failed in ancient Greece and if it failed in France, it's gonna fail to us. And it's failing to us. And we are starting to see it right now. Now, I started to see it a long time ago. And I have warned everyone I come across that democracy is a fucking plague. And everyone who tries to be apologetic on democracy should not be heard. But whatever, it doesn't matter what I say. What matters is what things will happen, how I will be proven right. And by the way, republic is the best after monarchy, in my opinion. But monarchy has to be feudal, but I'm not gonna get into it. The false god of equality. Now, it's gonna be very controversial. It's a trigger warning. We are not equal, okay? It's very nice that under the law we're all equal. Yes, we should all be equal, that's fair, under the law. But factually, I mean, some are taller, some are smaller, some are fairer, some are darker, some are more feminine, or some are more masculine. Some are men, some are female, some are like... We are not equal. We cannot be equal. Axiomatically, equality is as abstract and inexistent as abyss itself, as nothingness. The same way you can think of nothingness and it disappears, like the same way that you can simply conceptualize in a less than perfect way the nothingness, equality is exactly the same as nothingness because it's nothingness. Equality is inexistent. So the French Revolution, using this as one of the words for their motto, yeah, you can already tell they're fucked in the head. Égalité, fraternité. What was the other? Oh, well, we'll see. Yeah, fraternité. Yeah, I'm sorry for putting a fraternity here. It's just that I didn't think of anything better to put here, so you're just gonna have to stomach these fucking college dudes being dudes. It's very ironic and hypocritical to me that the French Revolution had fraternité as one of the elements of their motto. But, the Reign of Terror was a thing, in which they killed and pitched brother against brother. That they were like the first, biggest, and foremost promoters of democracy, with pitches brother against brother. Because in democracy, everyone has to have a party and everyone has to have an opinion. And that means that everyone can find themselves in a political trench against someone else that they love, but now they are enemies. We're starting to see this. Well, we're not starting to see it. We've been seeing it, for a long time, and not just in USA. I mean, just look at the world. The entire world is polarized in politics because of democracy. Fuck democracy. And I'm not gonna say fuck fraternité, because yeah, that would be very nice, but as it happens, again, we are tribal animals. We are the same fucking motherfuckers from 10,000 years ago killing mammoths. And the dudes you're seeing right now on the screen, yeah, they're a tribe. You can fucking tell they're a tribe. And they're very proud of being a tribe, because they're human. Humans love their tribes. And the false god of liberty. Liberté. Now, a problem with liberté is that they did not help one bit on acquiring liberté. Okay? The French did not end slavery. The French did not help end slavery. Quite the contrary, the Reign of Terror was a time in which you didn't even have the freedom to think whatever the fuck you wanted to think. If you thought against the revolution, which ironically was preaching liberty, you would be sent to the guillotine. So yeah, another ironic aspect. And the French confused liberty with something else. We will see soon enough what I mean by that. By the way, the principles of the Illustration and the French Revolution has led us to this time period in which slavery is cheaper than ever before. Yeah, in this current time, Anno Domini 2023, slavery is the cheapest that has ever been. Just fucking think about that. Yeah. Now the Illustration, or the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment is a period in which supposedly we were going to be completely rational. We were going to be completely scientific. Now, many of you may remember the time Neil deGrasse Tyson tweeted that a society ruled only by science would be the perfect society. And you may remember all the replies of philosophers, thinkers, and theologians calling him a fucking absolute dense piece of shit. Which he is. Because who the fuck thinks that a hyper-rational society would be the perfect society? Do you know which society was hyper-rational? The Nazis were hyper-rational. Because if you think about it from the laws of science, the most rational way to go about things is to kill the inferior races. And that means that eugenetics are the best thing, and that you should kill all genetic degenerates, that only the strongest should survive, amongst other things, right? Like, a science-based society is the most dystopic shit I can ever think of. And the French somehow thought that that was a good idea. And yeah, it brought good things like the scientific theory, but on the other hand, it drained us from one of the most essential parts of our rationality, our true rationality, our integral rationality, which is intuition. Now we need to have scientists telling us that, hey, having a mom is great, guys. My studies have shown that. It's like, are you fucking mental? Why did you have to torture monkeys just to find out something everybody knew already? What the fuck, you fucking psychopath? That's what science does, okay? And science, by the way, is not free of bias, especially today. Like Nietzsche said it, not regarding science, but regarding philosophy, but it does translate to science and every single other aspect of knowledge in the human history. Nietzsche said that every single philosopher's philosophy was an apology or apologetics for their behavior. Every time someone is doing philosophy, they are trying to create a system that justifies their way of acting, which made a lot of sense. And he tried to not do that, although let's acknowledge that's impossible, because we are human, because we are not completely rational, and that is okay. But trying to pretend that we are completely rational is one of the most dim-witted, fucking retarded bullshit that these wankstains could have ever thought of. Fuck. And now, talking of freedom, yeah, liberty, here we have the Marquis de Sade. This piece of shit, like, if I go on about this guy, I will not end in the entire fucking day, okay? And I would probably get my video not only demonetized, but taken down. So I'm not gonna elaborate about this fucking human piece of walking feces. You will have to Google him and find out why I hate him so much. Just be warned, content warning, it's extremely graphic in his writings. Some have had the audacity to call him a philosopher. I was talking to one of my friends not long ago, and he said, yeah, I read this and that piece of writings of the Marquis de Sade, and let me tell you, if there was any philosophy there, I completely missed it. But no, he did not miss anything. It's that the Marquis de Sade is just a complete degenerate. He was just a piece of shit that deserved to die in the most horrendous way. But well, you know, you'll have to figure out yourself why. Every single negative aspect of modernity we owe to the French. Fuck the French. Well, not every single. Technically, the Industrial Revolution we owe to the English. And I do hate the English for many other reasons, but that's another video. For the time being, let's just say that some of the biggest problems that we are facing today are the doings of a goddamn French guy. And of course, being Mexican, well, I am directly affected by French stupidity. France invaded Mexico twice for very stupid reasons, and this is a painting about Cinco de Mayo, which for any of those who think it's our Independence Day, please jump off a fucking bridge and rid us of your stupidity, because no, Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican independence. It's the day we kicked French butt. That's why we're so happy about Cinco de Mayo. It's because we kicked French butt. And if you're still thinking, well, that's Independence Day, right? No, we were not colonized by the French. Even though what I said about the Bourbons, pay attention, it was the Spanish Empire. The Bourbons was just the royal house that was governing in that time in Spain. Okay? So, Cinco de Mayo is one of the happiest days in history for me. Fuck France. There's even songs about it. Yeah. Even English, the English could be reasoned with. In one occasion, the English, the Spanish, and the French all arrived at the same time asking for payment, right? Because we asked loans of them, and we could not repay them, but we renegotiated the loans with the Spaniards and the Englishmen, and they were like, "All right, okay, let's renegotiate this loan. You'll repay us. It's fine." But the French were like, "Nah, man, we came here for blood," so they decided to invade nonetheless. So we kicked their butt. Rightfully so. Fuck them. Also, I can't respect a fucking country that doesn't even last 1 week against Germany in the Second World War. They did not last even a fucking week. They tried to restart the Maginot Line. They completely neglected the North Front. They thought that the technology did not change from the First World War and that the tanks were not improved upon. They didn't even bother to put radios inside their tanks. The fucking idiots had no maneuverability compared to the German panzers. And it was not because the German panzers were superior, by the way. French tanks were superior. Excepting for one detail. French tanks did not have radios built into them. So the Germans that did have radios could maneuver around the French tanks and be a lot more coordinated. And, ambush the French tanks repeatedly. So, let me say this. France is such a shit country, it doesn't even deserve me cleaning my fucking anus with it. Fuck France. And fuck especially France, because the few good things they have, they cannot even take care of. I swear to God, I cried when I saw this on television. Well, technically I saw it in the internet, but you know what I mean. Not even the good things that they do have, they can maintain. Jesus fucking Christ. France is the black hole in which civilization and humanity goes to die. Fuck. I don't care for the reasons why it burned down. I don't care. I'm not even gonna theorize. I don't know if there's even an official version of why it happened. What I do know is that it should have never happened. And that it's France's fault. Fuck France. Fuck France, and let me say it again. Fuck France. This is my TED Talk on why we should nuke France in such a manner that we don't affect any of the neighbors, so we can leave Italy, Switzerland, Germany, and Spain alone. It's okay if we hit England a bit with the nukes. It's not a problem. It's okay. But yeah, essentially, my plan for global domination is in order for me to point every single nuclear device in existence to France and fire it. Fuck France. Seriously, fuck France. I would love to live like a crater deeper than the Mariana Trench in where France stands right now. Let me say it again just because it gives me an orgasmic sensation. Fuck France.